Welcome to the Lifestyle First podcast, discussing lifestyle medicine and making self-care as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1 question, 2 research reviews, and 3 actionable health tips, all centered around the Lifestyle First method, your blueprint for the 10 key routes of optimal health and happiness. And now your host, lifestyle medicine physician and coach, Dr. Alka Patel.
Hi, hey, and hello, and welcome to Series 11, Episode 6 of the Lifestyle First podcast. The theme of today's conversation is T for time out. Now, have you ever had that feeling of just needing time out, needing to get out, needing to get away? Well, that's how I was feeling this summer before I stepped into 7 days of silence. I was a bit like a snow globe. You know what I mean? You shake it up and everything just stirs up. It's been a busy year. There's a lot that I've been doing. My mind's been whizzing away. But what I realized I was craving the most this summer was to be shaken, but not stirred. I mean, to feel alive, but feel settled. So as I said on last week's show, when I did step into 7 days of silence, I slept a lot. But I was also aware that there was a different type of rest that I needed, not the rest from sleeping, but the rest whilst being awake. And I say this because, of course, as humans, we're designed to oscillate, aren't we? We're not designed to go, go, go. We're designed to need recovery, to need recharge, to need rest, which is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about rest. In fact, I want to talk about the 7 types of rest. So this is based on the work of Saundra Dalton-Smith. She's given a fantastic TEDx talk, The Real Reason We're Tired. I'll put the link into the show notes for you. And she's written a book as well, Sacred Rest. Now, she couldn't make it onto today's show, which is a shame, but she will be coming on to future shows. So I can't wait to get into a much deeper conversation with her. But I didn't want to delay talking about this very, very important subject. So today what I'm going to do is give you an overview of the 7 types of rest. So what are they? Well, they are physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, social, sensory, and creative rest. And they each have their own characteristics. So the most important thing to know is to know which type of rest you need, and also to recognize that sleep and rest, they're not the same thing. So let's get into this. So the first type of rest is physical rest. Now, physical rest is passive or active. Sleeping and napping, you'll be familiar with. They're 2 forms of physical rest, passive rest. But you can also physically rest by being active. Sounds like a bit of a paradox. So what I'm talking about are things like stretching, yoga, standing instead of sitting in one position at your desk all day. This is active rest. So how do you know if you need physical rest? Well, look out for physical signs: pain, body aches, neck tension, back stiffness, swollen feet. These are all signs and signals from your body that you need physical rest. Second type of rest. Second type of rest is mental rest. So have you ever found yourself lying in bed with your mind racing, unable to quieten it? Or have you found it hard to maybe remember a list of things that you needed to order from the supermarket? Now, these difficulties, they're all because of mental overstimulation, overload, which then affects your concentration and your recall. This isn't a sign of Alzheimer's or a dementia or a problem with your memory. It's a signal that you need to rest your mind, that you need mental rest. Third type of rest. Third type of rest you need is social rest. So what's this? Well, we all have social energy. It's that energy that flows from us to others, or that's pulled from you to other people. Energy that's pulled into your relationships, your connections with your spouse or your kids or your colleagues at work or your friends on a night out. The energy that you're giving to maybe your clients or your customers. And you might have found yourself saying, this is a very familiar phrase, you might have found yourself saying, I just need some me time. That's you saying, I need social rest. So think about who you spend time with. Can you just be in each other's company without having to pour from each other and give away so much energy that then results in needing social rest? Fourth type of rest. Fourth type of rest is spiritual rest. So this is the type of rest that's based on one of our very core human needs, which is to belong, to feel that what we do has worth, that what we're contributing in this world is to something bigger than us. So if you do find yourself going through the motions of life, going to work for the sake of it, or not feeling that what you do counts or make a difference, that's the sign of a spiritual deficit, a sign that you need spiritual rest. Fifth type of rest is sensory rest. So think about your senses. Your senses are always on alert. Now, you might not be consciously aware of all those sensory inputs, but subconsciously, your body and mind are always responding. Your physiology is always activated. So whether it's that noise from the notification on your phone or the bright lights on your computer, over time, all of this sensory input can create a sensory overload. Our five senses are great, but they can get overloaded. So how do you know if you've got a sensory overload? Well, think about this. Maybe you've been irritated, been on edge, agitated, angry, and you can't quite figure out why. Maybe your day starts off calm, but you get more on edge as the day goes on. So if you find yourself saying, oh, I just don't know why I'm so irritable, why I'm so on edge, that's your need for sensory rest. Sixth type of rest is emotional rest. So this is all about your feelings and carrying the weight of your feelings without expressing them. It's when you don't give space for your feelings, when you don't allow them to be present, when you're trying to hide them or avoid them or distract yourself from them, not sharing your feelings with anyone, or when you're trying so hard to control your feelings that weight of emotion feels heavier and heavier. And that's a sign that you need emotional rest. And finally, the seventh type of rest is creative rest. Creative rest. Now, this is interesting. You experience creative rest when you allow yourself to appreciate beauty in any form. So I'm talking about the beauty of nature, or the beauty in the creative arts, music, dance, art. So how do you know you need creative rest? Well, there may be times when you've felt that you're struggling to be imaginative or to be innovative, struggling to find a solution to a problem. So when you keep pouring out this creative energy, this innovative energy, you're finding it hard to see the output. That's the sign that you need to take a creative rest break. Creative rest, it's that experience that we have when we allow ourselves to appreciate beauty in any form, whether it's beauty like oceans and mountains or beauty in art and music. So think about that. If you're finding that you're losing that innovative, imaginative energy, that's your signal that you need creative rest. So the question is, where do you start? Where do you start with identifying what rest you need and then how to take it? Well, when I was up in the mountains of Andalusia, I needed all 7 types of rest. I knew that. But what became clearer was my need for creative rest, because I became so in awe of all of the beauty of the mountains and the lakes and the flowers and the animals. I was just soaking up all of that natural beauty. And it was exactly the rest I needed, so that I came back even more innovative. Now, look, as I've said on every episode in this season, you don't need to spend 7 days in silence to find out what you need. That rest process, rest meaning restoration, that's something that's part of your everyday.
And now, here is your lifestyle first prescription. Your 3 activating actions to take you from knowing to doing.
So here are 3 actions for you to prioritize rest in every form. Number one is step outside every day. Just connect with any part of nature. The grass, the sky, the leaves, the colours, the sun, even if it's just for a few minutes every day. Spend a few minutes just noticing nature to get your creative rest. Number two is to reduce sensory overload. There's so much sensory input every single day. So just try one thing. Turn off your noisy notifications on your phone and you'll immediately notice that sensory rest that you get. And number three is volunteer. Volunteer to create spiritual rest, doing something for someone else with no expected reward. Just the smallest thing, the one thing. That's your greatest reward. So that then brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope you do take rest and find space to take rest, build it into your everyday. I hope that was helpful and I wish you a happy, healthy day.
Thanks for joining us on the Lifestyle First podcast, making self-care as easy as 1, 2, 3. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and we'd love it if you'd be kind enough to leave a review. To learn more or to arrange a consultation, please visit www.dralkapatel.com. See you next time.